For today's video, we are going to talk about Cole Eiserman. There's probably enough discussion that has been had about this player already, but I felt like a few things were missing, so I decided to throw my hat in there also. I'm not a fan of the player, but let's give him credit. To score this many goals, a player must possess an elite quality, and with Eiserman's case, his shot is well deserved of this title. We are talking here about one of the absolute best shots we have seen among prospects in recent years. The velocity of his shot is astonishing, and his shot is very heavy for goalkeepers, and he can beat them from afar. To me, his best asset is his one-timer. What I find most impressive is how quickly his thoracic rotation occurs. Even with full wind-up, the speed at which his stick comes down to hit the ice is incredible.
Back to Hudson, to Eiserman now. Looking for a lane, shot blocked by Kroll. Eiserman to center. Hudson to Eiserman, one-timer knocked down by
Cole Hudson moving in. Seam pass, Eiserman a shot. Save.
Back at the point, Hensler.
Numbers on the shoulders.
Ooh, that's great vision, too. No looker near side.
Back to Max Plant in the high slot. Eiserman a shot. Out and back to Hudson. Seam pass and a good Sweden. Hagen's out of the corner and a shot by...
To close this aspect, Eiserman is also very dangerous to take a shot following a face-off won by his center. This demonstrates how quickly, with the snap of a finger, he has the ability to put the puck in the back of the net.
Three on three.
Bednarik the win. Eiserman the spin. Bednarik in front.
Hagen's won the draw. Eiserman ripped it.
To pursue with the positives, Eiserman's overall involvement has been called into question several times this season, and it even seemed to be one of the predominant factors in justifying his downfall, and it is a criticism that I found a bit curious to say the least, since, for my part, Eiserman always presented himself during my viewing. I couldn't really reproach him anything regarding this aspect. He's a player who exhibits a propensity for physical play. He loves to hit his opponent, and he hits to hurt.
Yes, that's time for Blake. His shot blocked though by Emery. Given right back to the...
So, power play chance here, the big red.
Just went wide, back behind the net. Now Team White looking to regroup. On the off-wing side, spins through the middle, he takes a hit.
Group in a scoreless game. Leonard, Dom, and Kelly. First way. And Switzerland around on the boards. Emery. Pass intended for Worley did not connect. That pass by Basson. Hagen's tipping it deep into the finish end. Eiserman giving chase. He left the left side, Klimek. And a good stop by Kemp. That was dangerous.
The other argument that was used to justify the debacle of the American goal scorer was his faulty defensive game. This is actually not his strong suit by any means. To me, the issue doesn't lie in positioning or commitment like people want you to believe. The issue lies in his poor read and decision making. First, Eiserman takes simply unnecessary risk in his zone as he backhand pass between his legs to avoid getting trapped along the board. He has committed more than one turnover of this kind, and nothing can justify taking such a risk. He forced several plays like that in his zone as soon as the pressure came to him. Here's an example where he was in a hurry to throw the puck along the board. Thing is, his team was on the power play and the other team attacked with only 2 players, and there was 4 NTDP players in his zone. The other team took back possession of the puck and wasted several seconds of the NTDP power play. Several things about Eiserman are lacking on the defensive end, and another one of those things is his timing. We have an example here when he kneels in front of a defender to block a shot way too quickly. Another defensive aspect that Eiserman does not master is that he doesn't know how to defend against a defenseman's footwork with the puck. He tries to play the body, which might be a good idea, but he mismanages his distance and his timing. His feet also seem to sink in the concrete when he tries to engage the body, and this results in him being sidestepped easily. I'm gonna be honest, this year I try to distance myself as much as possible from anything regarding prospects, so be it Twitter, YouTube, or whatever, and despite that, a lot of trends did not escape me, and Eiserman downfall is no exception. And this is there I consider that people were completely missing the mark. See, it is true that his defensive game is far from being on point, but the fact that this is the main argument that has been put forward and that no concern have been raised on more preponderant aspect of his game amazes me. For me, the most alarming aspect in Eiserman's case is that I don't consider his on-ice intelligence to be very high. I simply don't see a player able to create offense for himself nor for his teammates. We're gonna take a quick look at his playmaking, and to me it is not a strong aspect of his game. But in his case, we're still talking about a guy who entered the year as a top prospect, so of course with a certain skill level will come a few nice passes here or there. Especially with a good sample of games, so for example this video is made on an 18 game sample. So I'm just gonna put all the clips I have of his playmaking, and I gotta say it got better over time. So I think after the first 8 or 10 game I had a film, I had like a 4 or 5 clip of his playmaking, so that was very thin, and it got a little bit better. So I'm just like I said gonna run the clips so you can take a look for yourself.
U.S. the other way. Here's Eiserman over the line. Drops it back. Shot safe.
Number 7, Gronwald. You know, one other thing about Emery, his dad played football in the CFL. There's a connection there to professional sports.
Shot left point, deflected right on goal. And then Eiserman giving chase. Has Plant with him and Hagens. This line reunited. Eiserman, left corner, out in front, Plant. And neutral territory. Hagens over the line, a drop pass. Played away. Hagens out in front. Found USA with Eiserman over the line. Right side Hagens. Back to Eiserman on a give. USA speed and transition obvious. Here's Hagens. Eiserman, top of the right circle. Seam pass left wing. Hagens.
However, the biggest constant in this facet is for me that he attempts a lot of what we could call hope plays, so risky plays where he just sends the puck into a dangerous area and he hopes for the best. So in his case, a lot of behind the back passes, and I think a lot of time he is playing out of his league creativity wise. He also makes a lot of mistakes when making drop passes. This is explained by 3 things, so his inability to correctly read the trajectory of his teammate, as well as the position of his opponents, a faulty timing, as well as a problem with his execution. A limitation in the playmaking department of a goal scorer can be excused if, on the other hand, the player can create golden opportunities for himself. However, this was not the case for Eiserman. I kept those arguments in reserve when I was talking about the quality of his shooting earlier on, but for my part, I did not see Eiserman gain the dangerous zone by himself in possession of the puck. In fact, the majority of his shots that follow a puck possession on his part correspond of shots coming from very far from the outside. No matter how good his shot may be, he won't be able to beat NHL goaltenders from these locations.
Left side, plays it off the glass and ahead. Eiserman gets to the puck first by Meyer. Got the shot and getting his glove. Hagens up the left side, Eiserman. Eiserman, wide left wing, got the shot. Ripped it over. Rocket of a shot, didn't have to be. Now rocket side to Plant. On the rush is Eiserman. Wide left wing, got the shot. Save made, a big rebound. Just.
On top of that, Eiserman tries to force a lot of puck through when there was simply no opening.
Here's Eiserman now down the left side. His shot. Emery
working in the corner. Eiserman a shot.
For me, he is a goal scorer who is dependent on his teammate and who must be fed by them. On the one hand, it is normal for a player like him to play within his strength and to simply park himself in advantageous position and simply wait for the puck to take advantage of his greatest quality, especially during power plays. On the other hand, I will take the criticism a little further by saying that at equal strength, Eiserman does not present himself sufficiently enough in dangerous location. He rather remain inside one of the face-off circle, and I wonder what he will do when the game gets tighter in the playoff.
Tries to get it over to Eiserman. He's shot. Fired, bounces around.
One of my biggest concerns with Eiserman is that out of all the players that I've watched this season, he was one of them who had the highest turnover rate. This can be explained by his inability to properly read the play in front of him as discussed previously. However, the bigger problem lies in a lack of intelligence within Eiserman's finish game. This may sound odd, but to me, a proper display of puck handling is supposed to also demonstrate signs of intelligence, so the player can either eliminate a variable in front of him in order to open up a passing or a shooting lane. He can also buy time to wait for a teammate's reinforcement or whatever. But more importantly, the player that wants to showcase his talents must be able to properly read his opponents. So their body alignments, their angle of approach, their movements, and also their eyes. In Eiserman's case, every time he attempts a finish play, his eyes are glued straight down to the puck, not taking any information from his opponents in the process, and there is no purpose or intentions behind his sticking lane other than trying to be flashy. Every time he attempts an angle and it doesn't work, I watch the defenseman play and it's astonishing to see how easy it looks for them. There is no manipulation beforehand, so they just have to extend their stick and poke check him.
Place area work by Ice Wozniak. Right wing, Eiserman was checked by Gustafsson.
An aspect in his game that I think that some people value too highly is his play in the corner and along the board. He was portrayed as a player who can take the puck back from himself and almost present some power forward aspect in his game. I have a hard time seeing such an outcome in the NHL since even in the USHL he was regularly losing his one-on-one puck battle. Even though he's 2 weeks away from being eligible for next year's draft, he's already at 195 or 200 pounds at 6 foot, so I don't see a lot of progress being made there. His skating is somewhat average to me, and one thing he would benefit from working on is his skating without the puck. So we see a lot of movement at the torso when he skates without the puck, so he wastes a lot of energy unnecessarily. Anyways, I'm running out of clip on him, so you could probably guess I'm not the biggest fan of Eiserman and he won't be too high in my ranking. So next video is going to be on Jesse Pulkkinen, so have a great week, see you next time.